It's so well understood in the military when it comes to the laws of war, but the same thing applies to the Constitution. During Katrina, when they were going house to house and then disarming peaceable American citizens who simply wanted to defend themselves, they had a duty to say no. But all too many of them went ahead and did it. That's the whole point of Oath Keepers, to make sure that that doesn't happen again. So anybody that tries to tell you, oh, the military and police won't ever do that, Exhibit A is Katrina. Exhibit B is what's going on right now. You do have some police chiefs, some sheriffs across the country saying, my hands are tied until the court says no. So we have a lot of work to do. But we are seeing about 300 and counting sheriffs across the country standing up, including in New York. So we're seeing the effect, I believe, and I give Sheriff Mack a lot of credit for this. His book that was passed around to almost every sheriff in the country, I think is having an effect. So, you know, I hope we're having some kind of effect too. So that's happening. Let's talk about us. The average gun owner, the average veteran. What's your duty? Vote the thumbs out, but then what else is your duty? Your duty is to be there for him backing him up, shoulder to shoulder. You need to be ready to be his posse. It's not just about your commitment to, it's important for you to say, look, I'm not going to comply. It's like one of the first things I did after the shooting was I said, look, here's my personal pledge to refuse to comply with any of this nonsense. I will not register myself. I will not register my arms. I will not turn them in. I will not give them up. I'm going to pledge to do that. You can't expect your sheriff and your police officers to stick their neck out and refuse to comply with something, refuse to enforce something that you are willing to comply with. You must lead by example and say, I will not comply. I will nullify. As an individual, I will nullify. And then as an association of gun owners, you will nullify. And as a veterans hall, you will nullify. Go to your VFWs, American Legion, Marine Corps League, talk to the guys as a hall and say, let's make a decision now. Let's proclaim to the world that we will not comply. The more you do that, that helps. It's both a carrot and a stick for your sheriffs or for your police chiefs and your town councils. Lets them know that, look, if we do the right thing and stand up, all the people here will be with us. The veterans and the gun owners in particular are with us and will support us. If we do the wrong thing and don't stand up, they will be against us and will purge us out of office. Carrot and stick. So what we want to do right now is to set April 19th as the deadline. Between now and April 19th is a little sprint. Go and find out where everyone stands in your community. Where do your brother veterans stand? And your gun owners, where do they stand? Go gather those signatures. Go whether you use petitions, like the Gun Rights Across America are now doing petition drive through March 13th to get signatures for petition to take to your sheriffs and chiefs of police and town councils. That's great. But I would also say, use a pledge. We have a pledge page now, alonglebeypledge.org. It is also on our website, oathkeepers.org. That's a pledge where you can go and say, look, here's a pledge here for just a general pledge. There'll be one for police officers soon, one for active duty military, and then one for gun owners and one for veterans. Whichever one applies to you, grab it, use it. If you want to make it your own and change it some way, go right ahead. I don't care. Go find out where your people in your own county and town stand. Pass it out at the gun shops. If guys don't want to use their real name, I don't care. They can sign it UCMJ or a U.S. Marine Corps veteran, 1968, U.S. Navy veteran, or whatever. As long as you can give an indicator this is a real person that said they would do this. But they're not going to comply. You take that to your chief of police, you take it to your sheriff, your town council, and you say, look, all of us veterans, all of us gun owners, this is where we stand. Now we want to know where you stand. And you've got until April 19th to tell us. Clock's ticking. That's your deadline. All of you oath-sworn officers and elected personnel, the chief of police is a leader. Even though he's appointed, he's still on the hook. You want to know where he stands. And there are chiefs who are standing up. Mark Kessler from Pennsylvania. Was it Burlington, Pennsylvania? I think it was. Good example. He went to his town council and presented a resolution that he wrote all on his own. The town council passed it. So now that's along the Bay town. And that's the thing. Between now and April 19th is the time to find out whether your local community is a Malon Bay community. Is it a come and take it community? Or is it a bend over and take it community? Now's the time to find out. So consider it a sprint. I really encourage you to focus your effort on your local community. Because when the crap hits the fan, if it comes to that and resistance, what matters is who's the man to your left and your right, like he was talking about, and then whether or not your elected officials are solid. Find out now. It's, are you a patriot or are you a redcoat? That's where it's kind of coming down to. I hope and pray that if we make a strong enough effort right now to purge the oath breakers out, I don't care what party they're in, and make sure that if they're on the fence, you want to push them over to the patriot side, just like what happened in the lead up to the American Revolution. People had to choose sides. They had to choose, they had to choose, they had to choose, they had to choose. April 19th came and the fighting came. That's when they really had to choose. Captain Parker and his men chose on that day. All the farmers who rallied to their cause and fought all the way back on Battle Road back to Boston chose that day. You need to choose now. And then find out in your community who's on which side. If we can get enough on the patriot side, we can stop this without bloodshed. Now, today we gave redcoats out to the obvious, self-admitted, proud redcoats who are on the other side. Enemies, domestic enemies of our Constitution, who are following directly in the footprints of Parliament King and General Gage, trying to do exactly the same stuff that they did. Why not call them what they are? They're modern-day redcoats, modern-day Tories. Give them that label that's appropriate and use it. And then from that moment on, if April 19th comes and they've already outed themselves, or if they've been silent, refused to say, then you can say, look, by your own silence, you told us what side you're on. From this moment forward, you're a redcoat. And everywhere you go, every public event, every speech, every town hall meeting, we somebody with this, reminding everybody of what you are. So use that. You shame the ones who are on the wrong side, and that'll hopefully get the squishy rhinos to steel up their spines and take a hard stand. Because they'll be basically warned that, look, if I don't come out in favor and openly advocating for the Second Amendment and standing firm, then I'm going to be designated a redcoat. My political career is going to be over. That's the message to them. And really, my biggest audience is the House of Representatives of the U.S. Congress. I want every Republican there to know that they cannot compromise on our gun rights. If this is the new third rail, don't even touch it, or you're fried, your career is over. That's what has to be the message. Because if they don't stand firm, what then? What if they pass a national version of what just got passed in New York? What then? It would put our backs against the wall. Your last political check nationally is going to come from the House of Representatives. You better send a strong message to them. Because don't take it for granted they won't fold. Look what happened to the Republicans in New York. They folded. Under the perception, beat into their heads by the media, that there's this new wave of overwhelming support for this. Well, you go to New York today, and there were thousands of Americans who are saying, Molon Labe, we will not submit, we will not give up. They will not turn it in.